From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello, I'm Alison Mitchell and welcome to Stumped. I'm joined by Jim Maxwell for the ABC, who is on the Central Coast this week, and Sunil Gupta for Akashvani is in Delhi. Now, India's World Cup campaign hasn't gone to plan so far. They've taken just 4 points from 4 matches and may need to win 2 of their 3 remaining games to qualify for the semi-finals. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur has proven in the past that she can be the player to step up for her team, most notably when you think of that 171 against Australia in the 2017 World Cup. But just how did her cricketing journey begin? Well, she was born in Moga in the north of India and was coached by Kamaldesh Singh Sodhi. Now, I've been speaking to his son Yadwinder, who also coached her. He now lives and works in Adelaide in South Australia, and he's been telling me just how his father first spotted her talent.
Boys used to play cricket, football, like different games. And Harman used to play cricket, sometimes football with those street fellows, sometimes with her brother, and sometimes with her father. So, like, my father saw Harman and he approached her and said, like, Harman, do you love playing cricket? And she said, yes. Then he told Harman, okay, ask your father just to contact me. And he gave his number to Harman. And then probably next day, he came there and he met Harman again and he said, okay, I didn't get a call from your father. And Harman said, I just forgot. A few days after, like, when her dad met my father and my dad said, okay, just, we are happy to accept Harman and we will take care of everything. We are happy to adopt her and we will take care of everything. And he was just stunned because he thought in a different way, like, adoption, like different adoption, but my father was in a sense like he said, like, we will take care of her studies because the school was...
So like sponsoring her, not actually adopting her, but sponsoring her cricket?
It's not just sponsoring, it's just taking care of everything, daily life. Like the school was around 20 kilometers from Moga, the actual where Harman used to live. And like all the commute, her cricket equipments, everything, the school fee, everything was free for Harman.
I'm sure out of those players you worked with, not all of them have gone on to play for India, not least captain as Harmanpreet does. What was it about her then, do you think, that your father saw in her that prompted him to say, I want to speak to your father and we want to provide everything for you to play cricket?
I think it's more of, the passion for cricket and, she was like outspoken. She was raw, she was not shy of like anything. Obviously, she was a shy girl that time, but she was not shy of playing cricket with the boys. I mean, if any of the boys, they like they use like native language, but she was not scared of anything. She just used to play with the boys. I guess there were many girls who were like good enough not to play for India, but definitely for India A or India B, maybe WIPL. But culture is different. Once the kids grow up, they tend to they tend to marry their children, as soon as possible, just to get that responsibility done. But in Harman's case, like her parents were cooperative, and I mean, she was still in year 12 when she was selected for Australian tour. That was her first tour, and that was the World Cup after that. Soon after that.
Can I show you a photograph? Is this your father, or is this Harmanpreet's?
This is Harman's father.
Harmanpreet's father. And what about this gentleman here?
He's my father.
That's your father, right? So this is an Instagram post.
And she must have written like, this is the place where I grew from, and this man gave me a wing, something like this. She posted this on Facebook.
She did. She says, fathers are the keepers. They save you from the storms and keep you warm. They are the guides and we are their prides. We exist because our fathers resist. She says, I proudly call myself a daughter to the best of 2 fathers, a biological one who got me into this world and the non-biological one who taught me the lessons of life and showed me the directions to follow. And so with that, she posted the father of her biological father and a photo of your dad.
This is 100% true. My father never differentiated me, yeah, like my family, my brother, my sister, and Herman. Like Herman was part of the family, and she was staying there like just like a normal kid. Like there was no differentiation for sure.
It's a wonderful
And
story.
yeah.
And it's a story which continues to grow with this Women's World Cup as well.
Like there are plenty of memories. It's not just fun. We used to because there was not many people who were aware of women cricket. We I used to take Herman on an open jeep into the village. Where they were like fair, just
Right?
to tell people like she's the Indian cricketer. Like
Yeah, yeah.
everybody is roaming around just to tell people like she's Indian cricketer, and
Just
people
to
were
inspire others.
yes.
What was she like to coach when she was young? Was she a good listener? Did she take tips, readily from you?
I think it was everything. It was not just one thing. If even if you like ask her to, have like 10 rounds of the whole ground, she used to run 12, and my brother used to run 5, that is why he's not playing for India.
That's a lesson for any youngster.
Yeah.
So Harmanpreet moved to Mumbai, but it was a success. She did break into the India team. And I want to fast forward to that match against Australia at the World Cup in 2017, because that was an absolute breakthrough moment, wasn't it? The 171 in Derby in the World Cup semi-final. That must have been, a very proud moment for you to watch her do that.
Yes, but she was still playing for India. But that 171, it changed the whole structure of women cricket in India. I saw Mithali playing, Jewel and Mithali, and all those girls who played for India. But Mithali was not aggressive. She was just and India used to score like 170, 180, maybe 200, 220 in 50 overs. And even when 220 score was like, it was a big score that time. And nobody scored at the strike rate of 100 for sure. I can tell you that. But I think that innings, I think it's a once in a lifetime innings. She was middling the ball, and I mean, especially with Australians, she always play well with Australians, with England. I mean, with good teams. She always had a. I don't know. She's very confident playing with Australia for sure.
If you had to sum up the role that Harmanpreet Kaur has played in the transformation of Indian women's cricket, how would you encapsulate what her contribution has been?
The quality I have seen in her is like she was never selfish. She never played for herself. She always played for her team. I have seen many players, I won't name them, who don't want to give their wicket away, although, the run rate is going up. I mean, the match situation. And I have told her many times, I mean, if not out is far better than out, but she always used to say, like, what if I get a six off the last ball of the innings? But she was never selfish, and she always played for the team. And I guess that flawless. I would say that was a flawless innings that changed the whole structure. That girls can score big hundreds, girls can score 300. You must have seen the last game against Australia, like
Yes.
four. And
Yeah.
I think that break, when she twisted her knee at that 2 minute break, got her LBW. Otherwise, India was in the race of chasing the target for sure.
Have you considered the impact on her of what could happen should she be the first Indian captain to lift the Women's World Cup and to do it on home soil as well?
Obviously, India will be playing semi-finals for sure, but I'm just expecting, the only better team is Australia. I would still say Australia are the favorites because they got plenty of all-rounders. They got, players who can just win the match on their own, like plenty, not just one. And yes, India is like, I would say India are the second favorites, but yeah, this is the only thing, she want to have before she retire, because I don't think, to be honest, I won't say like there is much cricket left in her, maybe, few years, but there won't be 50 over World Cup, and especially in India, in front of her parents, her relatives, or what coaches. So this would be the best bet. And I in India also got a good team.
Well, India have had a couple of heartbreaks, haven't they, in 50
Yeah,
over World Cup finals.
yeah.
How connected do you personally still feel to Harmanpreet, yourself through your family? And what pride do you feel when you see her perform?
When I trained all these girls, I used to put my heart out, everything. I was very passionate about cricket, especially the coaching. I have one more trainee. She's the captain of Canadian cricket team. I know Canada is like not at that level because they still have to qualify for T20 or 50 over game. But she's the captain of Canadian cricket team. So I've got two trainees who are the captain of national teams, which is not a like it's not a fluke, I would say. But seeing Harmanpreet, playing for India for the last 15 years, never been dropped. We feel proud. She was a cricketer. She had talent, but my father, she showed her the way. He showed her the path, and he gave her wings to fly. Otherwise, I think she would have been another girl. Maybe lost in that dust.
Well, that was Yadwinder Singh Sodhi, whose father initially spotted Harmanpreet's core talent as a cricketer. It's a good story, Sunil, isn't it? But when you talk about Harmanpreet, I have to say, when I was in India recently, everybody I spoke to had nothing but glowing words to say about her. She's under the microscope right now and under some pressure, but she's undoubtedly earned so much respect over the years.
Oh, absolutely. And he said it, and you said it as well. 2017, the semi-final at Derby, that 171, I saw it on television. It was a breakthrough moment for women's cricket in India. There's no question about it. And therefore, my point is this. It is now you're seeing a lot of the cricketers, even the men's cricketers, coming from small villages and towns and from very straitened circumstances. It is there. That has come up. Previously, it was, privileged people coming through. That now you'd be hard-pressed to find people only from privilege. You'd find all the people coming from the small towns coming up. That was a big moment. And that actually, I think, is people's frustration, certainly mine. She has the talent. She has the caliber. She has the background. She's worked hard to get here. Now, don't throw it away, right? Understand how, as you grow. 2017 was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, we all could do many, many more things than perhaps we can do now. Therefore, learn from that and say, what do I do now, right? How can I make the most of the experience that I've garnered, pass it on to other people within the team, the other teammates? There are two or three of them. Hardly in the old, there's Amarjot Kaur. She's also from there, playing from Punjab. How do I get them into a bonded team that can win easily rather than having to rely on stuttering and spluttering at the end? So, yes, terrific. Absolutely, no question about it. But she has to now start moving to the next level. That's not happening, I don't think.
Well, getting her team to the semi-finals of this World Cup is the first next step. Jim, she's 36 years old now. Is this tournament likely to be her swan song?
Depends on the performance from what Sunil's saying. It sounds to me and even in that interview, it sounds as though she's probably getting close to the end, and she needs to have some success herself and for the team. And it's almost a demand call somehow to get to the final, I suppose. But you can see a change in the wings very shortly. But she's still good enough to do it. She just needs to. The eyes of a billion people on her over the next week. It's going to be a tough assignment. Sometimes playing at home can be a disadvantage. So they need to pull their game together. And it's been a bit erratic so far in this series. So that's the assignment. For India's sake and hers, I hope it all comes together. I'm sure they'll be in the semi-finals. After that, who knows?
Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stumped. So my thanks to Sunil Gupta and to Jim Maxwell and to all of you for listening. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.